Hi, this is Lane8492. This is the first of two true crime story videos I'm doing today. This one is out of the state of Alabama. This is the case of Alabama death row inmate Geoffrey Todd West. By the way this name Geoffrey is spelled is Geoffrey. That's kind of like the Geoffrey they use in England, in the United Kingdom, New Zealand, and Australia. But of course, this is how his name is spelled, and of course, he's a United States citizen. You see, Geoffrey Todd West had once worked at a Chevrons in Etowah County, Alabama, and there in 1997, being that he no longer worked there, decided to rob the place, which was a convenience store, Chevrons in Etowah County, Alabama in 1997. And there he demanded the money from the 33-year-old convenience store clerk, Margaret Parrish Berry. She complied because she didn't want to lose her life. And usually what they say during a robbery is don't try to fight the perpetrator, just give them the money and give the description to the police after they leave. And don't take matters into your own hands. Of course, this was in Etowah in Etowah County, Alabama. However, after she gave the money, Geoffrey Todd West had Margaret Parrish Berry lay on the floor, and there he pulled out a gun. There he used his gun and shot Berry in the back of the head, execution style. And according to court records, the robbery netted about $250 in cash that was in a cookie can that held the store's money. And of course, the surveillance camera caught everything, which was the perpetrator, Geoffrey Todd West, on camera, that would lead him to be the suspect in the crime, being that he once worked there. And as a result, Geoffrey Todd West was eventually apprehended and was put on and would go on trial for Margaret Parrish Berry's murder. He was found guilty of the crime and sentenced to death, back when Alabama was still using the electric chair, which was last used in 2002. The jury recommended 10-2 to sentence Geoffrey Todd West to death. And now of course, his execution has been set for September 25th. He is amongst those over 50 on death row in Alabama who have opted to die by the new method, nitrogen hypoxia, which is, of course, nitrogen gas. And of course, 6 prisoners have been executed by this method since it's been implemented. 3 last year and 3 this year, and it's been used in 2 states, Alabama and Louisiana. Of course, yesterday would have been the scheduled execution by nitrogen hypoxia of David Lee Roberts, but it was stayed, being that a psychological evaluation to determine if David Lee Roberts is competent for execution. And they just decided to let the warrant expire and eventually stayed the execution because there was no way the evaluation would have been complete before the warrant was set to expire for David Lee Roberts. But as for Geoffrey Todd West, it's highly unlikely that his execution will be stayed. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. But it's probably most likely that it'll be carried out. I don't want to use my power of tongue or anything, as it says in the Bible, but it could get stayed, it might not. I don't know. But highly unlikely it'll get stayed. Anyway, hope you enjoy this video and let me know what you think. Thanks.